So today we are working with the dyeing in 1760, or in the way of 1760. And what we've done to start off the process is you have to mordant the wool. So if you take a look right behind you there, we have wool that's been soaking just in water after it's mordanted. We used alum, which is kind of the chemical process that opens up the fibers of the wool to get it ready and prepared to be dyed. So then you're going to start the fire so that you can warm up some other pots of water, which sitting over the hearth here, we have a couple different colors. One comes from the plant, which is actually a root, which is madder root. You can see the darker orange there, that's been soaked overnight. And then the lighter color, we actually just put this skein of wool in, so you can kind of see the contrast between how long it really has to soak to get the deep color. In the center here, we have what's called Brazil wood. And Brazil wood, actually, when we first put it in, it started to turn like a pink color, almost like the scarf that I'm wearing. But the longer it sits, it's supposed to turn into a ruby red with a rust hue to it. And then in the third pot, we have what's called alkanet. And that'll give you kind of a lavender purple the longer it starts to sit. You can see that we have another one that's mixed in there, and that was just put in. So it kind of gets tan, and then it turns into the purple that you see there. We also have some comfrey leaves. Comfrey is a plant that you'd be able to harvest in your garden, and it should be giving kind of a green color. I haven't actually seen it before, but that's what it's supposed to give you. And if you look right over there across from me, those are the dyes that we used yesterday. So right now we're basically working with the natural dyes, and what it is basically harvesting throughout the season and being able to boil that wool with what you've harvested. So we have henna all the way on the far left, various colors of the black walnut there. And then when you get to the side, we have what's called, a netto, which is kind of that macaroni and cheese orange color. And then you have right next to it various yellows, starting with tansy and then ending with the calendula, which is the lighter color. So later on today we'll be getting into what would have been imported, something like the cochineal, which is part of a beetle. When you think of British redcoats, it gives you that deep red. And then we have indigo as well. So I can show you which is almost like something, again, that you'd be able to purchase, and it would come in blocks, almost like chalk. And that's what you would purchase as well. So now you can take a look at some examples of what we do have here, what we're using. So we've already taken a look at the indigo. We also have what I mentioned earlier, the British redcoat, that red, that's cochineal, and it's part of a beetle. And what actually gives the beetle their red color is that they feed off of a prickly pear cactus. And they have they do look like little red pears, and they have little pricks on them, and that's what they feed off of, and gives them that color, and then the beetle is harvested, and it is used to dye. Then we have what's called a netto seed, which is very tiny little red. It's red from a plant, but the plant itself is not really anything pretty to look at. Then we have the bark of Osage orange, which when you look at it, the inside here, what's called the heartwood, is going to be what gives you the color. Not actually the bark, just what's on the inside. Same thing with what I mentioned in the very first pot there, which is called madder root. And when you take a look at this, you notice again, the outside isn't really what gives you the color. The inside, which is that deep orange, is what's going to give you the dye. And then we also have what's called logwood, which it might be hard to kind of tell, but it has kind of a purple hue to it. But again, inside is what's really going to give you that color. And if you take a look right here, that's the logwood that you see. So I can lift that up for you to take a little bit more of a look at. So it's kind of, again, an orange. What we're working with right now is kind of the lighter colors, because it's easier to go from lighter to dark. And that is basically all of our hard form of the dyes. And then the brown here, which you can see if you walk around the village, you'll see a lot of these little green pods, and we've harvested them over the season to get the inside, which is that brown. And that's what's going to give you that brown from all of the different skeins of brown that we have over there.
Thanks.